Now that masks are no longer mandatory indoors, what do the patrons of local businesses think about this change? Sister Cindy and Brother Jed have been doing this for several years, but why does the younger generation find people like them entertaining? Now that these local government officials have made these changes to the city, what do the families affected think about their kids having to wear their masks to school at all times?
You can just see the red flames. You don't know if it's your house. You don't know what is going on. You could just know that you live in that direction and that it's red.
Delfina Lucero is one of many people who've been evacuated because of the McBride fire. The fire started near Gavilan Canyon Road. Many of the evacuees are here at the Ruidoso Convention Center. Also here are the members of the community who want to help. Stephanie Kinnaman is a high school teacher. She came here after a frightening experience at school.
It was not what we expected, to see the fire burn in front of the high school and then blaze up the hill towards the middle school.
About 150 homes have already been lost to the fire, but some Ruidoso residents feared for the children's safety. Melinda Johnson went to pick up her grandkids after school was canceled. She says everyone was scared.
I saw a little girl crying. It's just like, oh my God, it broke my heart. It was rough. It was hard.
Firefighters won't know what caused the fire until an investigation, but widespread speculation is that wind blew down some power lines, setting alight dry underbrush.
That's all it takes is a spark.
And that one small spark has upset the lives of hundreds of people.
I was homeless for a couple years, and for last year, I've been starting to build stuff up. And so last night when we saw all the red, it made me panicky because I didn't want to start all over again because it's really hard.
What's the letter? And what's the sound?
Men in uniform is a rare sight in Las Cruces public school classrooms, but Private First Class Brennan Artman and Specialist Mario Moraz are making a change. While LCPS continues to hire qualified applicants, both National Guards will fill in as substitute teachers. Joetin volunteered as part of the Supporting Teachers and Families initiative.
Just looking at how excited the kids look every time, I just love seeing them look happy and excited to actually learn for once.
Principal Joan Howard says she feels so lucky to have one of the two guardsmen at Highland Elementary School.
He's really just fit in seamlessly into our school culture, our staff and students. We really have enjoyed him.
With a nationwide shortage of substitute teachers, how did two National Guard members take it upon themselves to help their community?
Ever since I was a kid, people always helped me. And I used to be really shy back then. So as I got into high school, I really felt like I wanted to help more. So I joined the National Guard because of that.
Everybody.
Specialist Moraz plans to be in the National Guard for at least 20 years and expects this is just one of many missions he'll face. The governor and the New Mexico Public Education Department will determine how long this one will be. Karin Sanchez, News 22.
Hello, sir.
Samantha Gonzalez is the owner of the Store del Sol along with two other businesses in the Mesilla Plaza. Gonzalez says that the lift of the mask mandate in New Mexico was not a surprise to her and it was a long time coming.
I think we're okay with it as long as people make sure to take care of themselves. We really shouldn't have an issue. I got it.
Although Gonzalez believes it's up to the person to choose whether they want to wear a mask or not, she asks people to respect the mask requirement set in place at her stores.
So we do hold the right to tell people, hey, we do require masks and it is a private business, so we are allowed to.
Now that masks are no longer mandatory indoors, what do the patrons of local businesses think about this change?
So at this point in time, everyone should be able to choose whether they want to wear a mask or not.
And some are more enthusiastic than others.
Oh, I'm ready.
The lift of the mask mandate will also bring in potential customers that will get upset over the store's mask requirement, but Gonzalez has the solution to this issue.
The best way to handle that is just to kill them with kindness, because there's nothing they can basically do to reflect that.
Patrons of the store also agree that people should respect the safety precautions the private businesses decide to follow.
You don't have to come in if you don't want to follow the rules.
Hallelujah, Christ is risen.
This is how many churches like St. Luke's Episcopal Church in La Union, New Mexico start off their Sunday services, and they will now be able to feel like they are starting to return to normalcy. On April 23rd, the state of New Mexico removed mandatory capacity limits on churches, and they will now be able to hold indoor services at 100% capacity. Although this may be good news for many, Father Daniel Cave makes sure to remain cautious.
While we are very anxious and we're very excited and we're very happy to be able to open up and say, everybody come back, we need to do so, remembering that in some places it might not be the best move, in some places it might not be safe. So we need to remember that in loving one another, that we should do it respectful for everyone.
The revision to the public health order was made due to recent Supreme Court rulings that recognized that these restrictions barred people from enjoying their First Amendment. In a lawsuit that involved the Roman Catholic Diocese of Brooklyn versus Governor Andrew Cuomo, the church argued that they were given stricter capacity restrictions while essential businesses in the same area remained open.
Now that we know that the state has lifted capacity restrictions from the churches, what do members of the church think about this decision and the factors that influence the settlement?
Just now that we're being allowed back in the church, it's just wonderful to be back in community where we should be.
While some members of the church are glad to be back, some of them think the churches should have never been shut down.
God gave us freedom, and this country is the best example of it, but we haven't shown it in the last year and a half. It's just been very disappointing is the word.
Despite the troublesome feelings some churches have felt during this pandemic, Father Daniel Cave looks forward to reopening by slowly removing restrictions in an effort to go back to normal. Karine Sanchez, News 22.